Breaking news, more suspected missile launches by North Korea. Just this morning, President Trump downplayed North Korea's recent string of launches and told reporters he's received another, quote, very beautiful letter from Kim Jong-un. Let's bring in CNN national security reporter Kylie Atwood. Kylie, what's the latest?
Yeah, so tonight, North Korea has indeed launched some more ballistic missiles, a U.S. official confirming that to CNN. And this comes after they've continued to do this over the past few weeks. It's kind of a pattern that we're seeing here. 4 missiles were launched in less than 2 weeks before what we saw today. So why is North Korea continuing to do this? They got President Trump to the negotiating table, and now they're pushing the U.S. away. Of course, one reason that they're doing it is because the U.S. and South Korea are continuing their joint military exercises. We know that North Korea is frustrated and also intimidated by those exercises. But a source close with the U.S.-North Korea relationship also explained to me that the U.S. believes that North Korea could actually be carrying out these missile tests before they come back to the table with the U.S. And that's because Kim Jong-un said that North Korea would be working on mass production of its missile program, but they haven't perfected that program yet. So if they're going to sit down and discuss getting rid of their nuclear program, they want to have their missile program perfected, and that's what they're working on now.
And the president is very proud of his relationship with Kim Jong-un. He just walked onto North Korean soil earlier this year. He was talking about this with reporters earlier today. What's his response to all of this?
Well, we haven't heard anything officially from the White House tonight after this breaking news, but today, President Trump was telling reporters about a letter he just received yesterday from Kim Jong-un. It's a 3-page letter, and he described it when he spoke with reporters at the White House. Let's take a listen.
I think we'll have another meeting. He really wrote a beautiful 3-page, right from top to bottom, a really beautiful letter. And maybe I'll release the results of the letter, but it was a very positive.
So he's saying it's a positive letter from the North Koreans, but he's taking out some of his frustration in this ongoing situation with the South Koreans, who are the traditional U.S. ally here. A source at the White House explaining to me that Trump has grown increasingly frustrated with South Korea as these missiles have been launched, and that's growing a tension between the two countries.
They share a style, a billboard, and now it seems a campaign strategy.
That is a lot of fake news back there.
President Donald Trump has made attacking the media a central theme of his election and his presidency.
You look at the newscasts, I call it fake news.
And now his friend, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who's facing a tough re-election bid, is doing the same.
Fake news.
Ignoring traditional media outlets, the longest-serving leader in Israeli history has gone to Facebook Lives to rail against what he calls a secret quartet of media owners planning to tilt the result of the upcoming election.
The media court-martials us. They lie, they cheat, they distort on an enormous scale, and when we give our reaction, they say, this is terrible, this is awful, this is incitement.
In a week when Hezbollah militants fired anti-tank missiles at Israel, Netanyahu said it was the media that was planning what he called a terror attack.
You're carrying out a terror attack against the truth and against democracy. We will not bow down to your hypocritical double standards. We know it's all a bluff.
Netanyahu and his Likud party declined to comment to CNN, but political analysts here say they've never seen anything like this.
In Israel, to call a journalist a terrorist, which is like the worst moniker that you can attach to anyone, and to declare that they're trying to undermine democracy is very dangerous. It's a new stage.
Channel 12's Guy Peleg now has a security team for his own safety. He says he's received threats. But Netanyahu, in another echo of Trump's language, called them fake security guards. As Netanyahu faces possible charges of bribery and breach of trust in ongoing corruption investigations, he's accused the media of carrying out a witch hunt in an effort to unseat him, even though it's an attorney general he appointed who's in charge of the cases. Netanyahu has insisted he's innocent.
I think now he truly believes that he's being persecuted, victimized by a vast left-wing cabal run by the media, and I think it's very worrying if he is indeed living in such a delusional state.
Now, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is beginning to warn of election fraud in the upcoming election on September 17th, saying they're trying to steal the election from him and his party, he says, especially in the Arab polling places. Wolf, his rival, former Chief of Staff Benny Gantz, warns that this is Netanyahu just trying to lay the groundwork to reject an important democratic process.
These folks are being locked up purely because they can't afford to pay something. So essentially what we're saying is you should be locked up if you're poor. If we want to prevent recidivism, which is people returning to prison, we need to make sure that people have options when they come out of prison.